Well, hello there. Welcome to SF Liberal Buzz. And I want to start out by saying poor people really can't be fascists. So that's doesn't work. And today we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about the 420 ballot initiative that was taken to. We're going to talk about Scott Wiener. We're going to talk about the ballot initiative MCLR, which we've covered before, and I want to start out by saying a broken window is not, the same as a broken spine. So they talked a lot about broken windows and less about broken spines for now. And so I took some notes about. Let's start with Twitter. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Liberal Buzz, Denise Dory, give me a follow. So Scott Wiener, he has an exclusive 19-member task force he's starting with. And the cops beat a deaf man for 7 minutes. We're going to get to Scott Wiener later, but the cops beat a deaf man for 7 minutes because he didn't respond to their yelling. It was a black man, of course, and so that's been happening way too much. That's just another example, a really horrible one. So I'm going to talk a little more about that. I've got some things written down and on my mind as well. And we've been blogging about WeCopWatch.org. Go to that website. It's okay to film the cops. I'm going to go through the tweets. Discover Himalaya's illegal marijuana fields. They're gorgeous. I'd show you, but there isn't time. Marijuana is more popular than politicians. Yes, that's true. There's 21 Senate bills out there. And not Senate, just bills on all different levels, and none of them are very good. So the only one that's good are the ones written by the people, us. It's going to happen in 2016. It's just who gets a piece of the bigger piece of the pie. Are they going to divide the pie equally, or is it going to be, what is it? So a 6-fold increase in San Francisco homeless citations directly coincides with Mayor Ed Lee tenure. That was on CBS, no less. And private prisons are suing states for millions if they don't stay full. So California, for example, they have to keep their state prisons 70% full. Arizona, they have to keep them 100% full. So that's just unconscionable. We've got to not privatize, make money off of prison system. And David Campos is going to propose a moratorium on market rate housing in the Mission, which is great. Let's see moratoriums elsewhere and let's catch up on all the housing we haven't built that's affordable. Let's make it retroactive. I think they could expand that. And the House, of course, it says no to most things, and medical marijuana for veterans. They say no to that too. So, and marijuana looks like under the microscope. Well, you want to have a look? Oh, you might as well. So, pretty, isn't it? There's 14 different kinds of cannabinoids in cannabis, so maybe each one is a different color code. Like the yellow one is probably the THC, and then the CBD might be the purple one. So, or something, I don't know. I have to look. Haven't read it all yet. And then you have the right to be in a public place and watch and film the police. That's going to be our Axis of Love show tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. on channel 29, which is also BAVAC. So you do have the right to be in a public place and film the police. Just don't interfere by talking to them. They can't do that. Then it messes it up. And you always come out behind, trust me. And WeCopWatch.org is their website. So I strongly urge you to visit that website and give them a shout. You don't hear much about Latino victims of police violence, which could change soon. So that article is a good. I've read each of these articles, but I wish I had time to talk about each one. But let's talk about them on Twitter, okay? So tweet me. Loretta Lynch said she doesn't support marijuana legalization. So that's one reason you shouldn't judge anybody by the way they look, because it doesn't mean they're going to support your issues or causes. Look at Mayor Willie Brown. You know, so you gotta. There, some people are just trying to do the tough love thing, and which, you know, that's, I applaud someone with a protective instinct, but jail isn't really protecting anybody. It really isn't. Or having cops have more reasons to mess with people. So comprehensive legalization initiative was filed on 4/20. So that you can follow that link and get updates about the best one. California legalization. It's an open source voter initiative, which meant it was open to anyone who wanted to add comments to it or add to the law. Now, city cops take another hit at legitimizing medical marijuana. Hypocrites look for probes and causes. So those are the tweets I've been sending out. Now we've also got some. Oh dear, I think I've got the wrong. Okay, so what I was going to say is I think I need tech. Okay, there we go. I'm back. Okay, that was just a little slip up I had hoped to avoid. Now we've got the let me get to, I'm going to get to the cannabis issues, but first I want to get to what I was going to tell you about Lynch. She's against cannabis legalization, so that's a step backwards for us, a big step backwards. And you know, the thing about Baltimore is when they talk about outside agitators on the news, they're right about outside agitators, but not the people that they're pointing their fingers at. It's the cops that come from other areas like Jersey and Pennsylvania. They don't live there. They just come and police these people they don't even know, and they're brutes. So, and I've seen it in my own neighborhood too, the Tenderloin. I saw it this morning. I had my camera ready too. So if you remember the hippies, I'm 60 years old, and yes, I was just at the tail end of the hippies. The police profiled them too, us, and yeah, you went to jail for everything. If you went to anywhere but California, you'd get beaten. I had my schoolmate he was 15. He came back beaten by the police just for having long hair. They cut all his hair off and beat him and took his money, kept him in jail. There was a hippie hater atmosphere back then. There weren't as many. There were a lot more white people, so they had to pick on someone, and they picked on us. So, you know, now it's everybody's a scapegoat. Now you just especially brown people. And we see Nixon back then passed bad drug laws to criminalize a lot of people. So since Nixon, it was just in the press, you know, oh, those hippies need to be policed more. So, you know, and now they use different scapegoats at different times, whatever's convenient. And unfortunately now it's people I like. So film them. When you see cops, film them. You know, everybody's got one of these. You got a little camera on there. Please do it. Nobody's going to mess with you. It's against the law. So, and they aren't allowed to shoot in the back anymore. My dad, when he was shot in the back by the police, they were allowed to before 1985. That was okay, as long as they could make a decent explanation why the person deserved it, I suppose. Now, I wanted to say that there's 21 cannabis bills in the State House now. And some are a distraction, others are very restrictive. Axis of Love, a compassionate group looking to expand Prop 215, which was a voter initiative back in the 90s. San Francisco had the first cannabis dispensaries. If we didn't, give me a call. By the way, the number's right here. A compassion group, we are looking to expand Prop 215 for collective grows. It means that other people can grow. You can grow for other people. Not everyone has a plot of land or can grow. Some sick people can't grow it, even if they do have land. They just, you know, Some people have brown thumbs. Whatever reason, not everyone can do it. So what we're saying is we want to expand Prop 215, and MCLR does that. It's also the Oregon Transplant Bill. Everything else copies Assembly Bill 1262. And in the last session, which means limiting personal growing, banning collective growing, taking apart SB 420, which it allows collectively people to cultivate, and it should be under the alcohol beverage. It shouldn't really. The alcohol beverage control shouldn't control medical cannabis ever. You just shouldn't. We recently got the police chief bill 266, and that's scary. That's really scary. It came out of committee just over a week ago, and it's very restrictive and limits patient activities as far as being able to provide their own medicine for themselves. So as these bills go through Assembly and Senate, we, the patient groups, have all contributed to a ballot initiative, MCLR, and it's been turned in. And because politicians shouldn't be making our medical decisions for us, politicians don't know anything about medicine. And I know that the climate deniers say they don't know about science, they're not a scientist, but let me tell you, they're more in control than the scientists are. The scientists are begging them to please do something. So 97%. Okay, so it's an analogy, and it's a pretty good parallel. So I'm announcing that Axis of Love, for the benefit of patient and recreational users, entered an open source ballot for April 20th in Sacramento State House. I am a proponent. I signed as a proponent. So if you go on this, if you go on the website, it has all the proponents and you can read the bill. You just go to the state website. And a lot of people signed on to it because everybody had input. So you can go to it's the state government website, and look up MCLR, the only compassionate provider proposal. It's the only one that allows people to get cannabis free because they're poor. Because a lot of people can't. Can you afford $40 a day? That adds up. In 10 days, that's $400. You know, that's $1,200. That's $1,600 a month for your medicine. Incredible. So, yeah, they're trying. It's basically. Have you ever heard of manufactured consent? When they talk about distracting people so they don't realize their rights are being taken away till their rights are gone. So, and then they wonder what happened, pointing the finger in every direction after their rights are gone. So, compassionate provider proposals keeps us on the map, and the compassionate providers actually signed on to it, and so it's going to be refiled again. It's going to be refiled after a time. You have 30 days to file public comment. So if you go to the state website, you can also file public comment, and public comment will close in the middle of this month. So you have like about 2 more weeks. You have till the end of the month to file your public comment, and then we'll refile the MCLR proposal and get more supporters. And there's a conservative move of lobbyists to stop us. We have opened the door to legalization. Whoever got signatures for Prop 215, whoever got a cannabis card, whoever participated in the program of legal cannabis, quasi-legal cannabis, is a groundbreaker and deserves to keep their rights, not have them taken away. Because Prop 215 is very good, and we're very good at self-policing ourselves. And there's all these solutions looking for a problem that isn't there with the cannabis community. There really isn't. So we opened the door to legalization for them, and now they want to privatize the herb, make all the money for themselves, and then restrict everyone else's access. So that's not okay. It really isn't. It really isn't okay, people. Don't let them do it to you and I and your brothers and sisters. They want to be gatekeepers of the herb. It's a civil right. Remember, we always say this, and I'll say it in every show I can remember to say it. The herb is a civil right, and whether you like it or not, it would help you even if you don't want to consume it. You could use the hemp products, which are break down and they can replace all plastics, and plastics just pollute the ocean, kill the fish, and give us cancer. So we have to steal. It's piracy. It's no less than piracy. Piracy of everyone's herb, and we have to steal it back. They will lie and say they're for the little guy, but they're not. They manufacture consent, and so sometimes legislators will be satisfied with them saying, "Oh well, we contacted the patient community, and the patient community." And meanwhile, all they had, was invite some people over for pizza and talk about cannabis for an hour, and then say, "Okay," and take videos and show it to the legislators, and they just get them to think that they know as much what they really don't know. And we are the real patients. We've been the patients. We've been here since the inception of the program, and so we've got to stay focused, and we've got to educate people about this. The lobbyists are doing their best, to manufacture consent, and they won't show, what I'm saying is they won't show us a draft of any of their proposals. The proposals, they won't show anyone. It's almost like the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade, the Asian Rim Pacific trade. They don't want to show us any of their, anything about, they don't want to open the script for them. They want to keep it secret. So, yeah, they won't show us even a draft of their proposal whatsoever. Now, after getting 25% of the signatures required on these crummy proposals, they have an opportunity, after they get 25% of the signatures, to go before the legislators to circumvent the voters and say, this deal is like this other one, so let's just pass this. So that, and that's to take this before the progressive California voters, which I think we can beat that. I really do. We have already passed Prop 215 here in California, and there's more people for cannabis now than there were in 1996. So on a local level, in San Francisco, medical cannabis dispensary landlords are being approached by out-of-state interests to take over their lease for cannabis use approved properties. See, the permits are a gold mine. If you have if you own property where there's a cannabis and it's approved for cannabis dispensaries, it's a gold mine. You can charge the moon for rent. It seems, because people from out of state are coming, moguls to corner the market their own way. It's already happening. There's a dispensary in the Excelsior, I won't name them, got together with Avalos, and now they can't open any more dispensaries around there because they put a moratorium on it. So it's already happening. We have a petition to prevent compassionate MCDs from having to move. And also with Scott Wiener, this is the end now. Scott Wiener, we have a business lobby in San Francisco forming a business task force lobby under Scott Wiener. It's a 19-member legalization task force for cannabis, all while we are looking in an old non-binding municipal free cannabis program. Back when Ross Mercurini did this for us. And so we want to have a municipal program instituted to provide free cannabis to everyone who needs it. And contact Supervisor Jane Kim tomorrow afternoon from between around 2 and 5 o'clock. She'll be open for comments. Jane Kim, she will get together and with Mercurini and help us with this. So do you have, because see, we don't have medical use figured out. We really don't. Medical use hasn't been figured out, let alone bringing adult use into San Francisco. Poor sick folks aren't getting their meds. Let's address that first. you know, really, and then worry about all the other people that want to make money off of it. Because right now they're in charge, and we have to. Scott Wiener is just, you know, putting on this. He's siding with the rich folks. That's what's happening. It's a pattern I've noticed with that legislator, so with that supervisor, and so this lobbyist task force excludes us. They won't even talk to us. You know, they won't talk to the patients, even though we instituted this MCLR cannabis bill in Sacramento and we got it on the ballot. They still won't have anything. We can't even. I don't know if it's a closed session. Probably is. You know, where there's no public allowed, just closed sessions with these people. I wouldn't doubt it. The way everything's so dodgy nowadays in our government. So let's call it a task force piracy. And in mid-May we'll be doing a town hall. So go to our Facebook page. We want to legally give away meds and share them with other patients. So I really want you to get involved. Help us get involved. We're going to have to, because there's nothing else. We can't. This is a civil right, and it's about to be they're about to manufacture everybody's consent into thinking, oh, legalize marijuana. Yeah, right. No, they're not really legalizing it. They're actually, there's jail time. You have to look into this. Just don't be consenting to something that's not helping you. Educate yourself, and we've got these little phones and all sorts of ways to read up about it, and read my Twitter. Go to my Twitter, and you can read even more about this. I'm gonna post a tweet pretty soon about the new language. So please adopt a shelter pet, and Let's Talk Sports is coming up next. Check them out.